Welcome to Retrobot, the YouTube channel where we feed a friendly space robot a diet of pure nostalgia. I'm Clay, and in this Short Circuits video, we are going to take a look at Transformers Legacy Optimus Prime. So, here is the packaging. First of all, let's try and get you to be able to see that without such a glare on it. So yeah, the box art is very 90s. It is all neon-tastic. They've made these boxes with some weird angles all over them. You see that there's some Autobot artwork on the side there. That's not bad. You know, it's a little bit I don't know. It's not as detailed, not as striking as the Kingdom artwork has been. We've got some really nice character illustrations on the side here. Once again, weird angles, you know, all over the place. This is like cutting off a corner in several ways. I would hate to be the packaging designer that had to figure out how to make this fold up. And we've got the vehicle mode illustrated right there. Once again, you know, the illustrations here look great. This is a pretty striking logo, so that's really nice. But one thing that I'm not hugely a fan of is that you can't see the figure. Like, there's no window here. This isn't a panel or something that I can open up and get to see what's in the box. The only thing that is in here that shows me what's in the box really is the back panel. You know, these are the images of the toy itself, which just historically, I don't trust these images. Because you know, sometimes they're based off of a computer rendering and not an actual photograph, and you know, oftentimes, as we saw with, I think it was Titan Returns Optimus Prime, they creatively take photographs to hide some of the sins of the toy. But anyway, we've got a very cool QR code thing in the shape of an Autobot shield. And we've got some text and some legal gobbledygook here. We've got the Transformers Legacy logo there. Again, very nice logo. I don't know what to expect from this line overall. It seems like it's kind of dipping into the past Transformers well beyond Generation 1, which, honestly, that's a good thing. We have milked the Generation 1 cow pretty hard, and even though there's still a select number of things that I would like to see them do, like a monstrous or a monstructor combiner done in the Combiner Wars style. I really want that. Hasbro, come on, you know, I don't care if it's mostly retools of Abominus. I still want it. I'll pay for it. Repaint Abominus. Maybe mix in some parts from the Dinobots and from the Seacons. You know, swap some legs out. I don't care. I'm a sucker. I'll buy it. So there you go. Yeah, we need Monstructor. Please. Soon. So, anyway, so that's the packaging. Overall, it's very nice packaging. Really like the illustrations here. This is, it's not bad. It's not bad. So, there that is, and here is the toy inside. I have to admit, I was not super excited when I saw the pictures of this toy. You know, they announced that they were doing this. This, of course, is in homage to Transformers Generation 2 Laser Optimus Prime, which was one of my favorite toys ever. Is still one of my favorite toys ever. In 2011, there was a deluxe class figure of just the truck portion, and I was disappointed in that. You know, it was not it did not live up to the original. So I wasn't super excited to hear that they were doing another Optimus Prime with a diminutive trailer. You look at the trailer, and obviously it is scaled down in relation to the overall tractor trailer when you compare it to the original, when you compare it to a normal Earth vehicle. It's like they've just kind of shrunk everything down to save costs. And I get it. You have to save costs, but I remember a time when the trailer was actually bigger than the truck that pulled it, and now you look at this, and you have this trailer, and look at that. The trailer is actually a little bit shorter than the truck that pulls it. And, I understand you have to save money, but, I get a little bit disappointed at that. But I do have to say that getting this out and looking at it, I really like it. I really like it. Because if you look at this, what they've done is, yes, it is smaller. It is absolutely smaller in scale, but they have filled in the negative space very, very nicely. It feels solid. You look under here and there's no big obvious air gaps. That looks complete. It looks like it's filled in. And that's something that really gives this trailer more visual weight and gives it a higher perceived value. And let me show you the difference, because I have Earthrise Optimus Prime right here. And for people who are familiar with this channel, who have heard me rant on this topic, I was kind of disappointed. Like, this is a really nice Optimus Prime truck. Okay, the cab section, let's make sure that it's in focus. Come on, camera, you can get that in focus. There we go. So this is a really, really nice Earth-style Optimus Prime. I mean, excellent transform, excellent vehicle mode. It's nice, and my little tanks are folded in because I grabbed it there, but they're supposed to be out. So this part is great, but this is a Voyager class figure at best. And then they added this trailer, which looks cheap. It looks hollow. You can see underneath here where it's just got these skinny little panels and these little wheels, and there's just so much empty space under here, and it just looks like a full-size tractor trailer with a shoebox on the back of it. It is unimpressive. And then you open it up. Let's go ahead and do that. So you open it up. You flip down this thing, which, by the way, just kind of it barely supports it. You kind of push it in one way or another, and it just flops over. You open it up this way. And, of course, this is done in homage to the original Optimus Prime toy, which had a battle platform that was very similar to this. And so it does that, which, the retro side of me, which is a pretty strong side, appreciates that, but it is so monochromatic. There's no paint detail anywhere in here. There's all this molded in detail, but it's just gray on gray on gray on gray. They've got this sort of molded in cockpit thing where, like the original, but it's not painted any different. It's not done out of translucent plastics. It's just a gray blob. And so, I have to say that this trailer really, it seems like it seems like it's a $5 toy that added $20 to the price point of a very, very nicely done figure. So understand that yeah, I was not really looking forward to another Prime toy that would have a small, undersized, cheaply produced trailer that would jack up the price to something that seemed overpriced. So let me move that out of the way, and we'll get back to Laser Optimus Prime, or, well, Legacy Optimus Prime, as it turns out to be. And let's take a look at him, because, like I said, I really like this toy. The trailer, first of all, like I was saying, the trailer doesn't, because they filled in all these gaps and everything, it visually has more weight. And that really helps the perceived value. Also, notice that they've got red plastic here. They've got black wheels with silver hubcaps, which the other one had black wheels with silver hubcaps. We've got a nicer looking gray here, and we've got black. So already this trailer has more color to it than the last trailer. It just looks more substantial. We have this little thing right here. So if we pull this out, then it can stand up, which is nice. You know, it's nice for the trailer to be able to just stand up on its own, and it's stable. It's not something that if you bump it, it's going to fall over. It actually does successfully hold itself up. The molded in detail is intricate and very nice and very interesting to look at. So once again, we have something, and I get it, a tanker truck in itself is a more interesting design than just a box trailer. But boy, look at everything in there. I mean, that's cool looking. So let's go ahead and transform this into the base mode. And I'll just move it back here and constantly convince my camera that it needs to change its focal point. So we're going to open this panel on the top, and then that's going to kind of unlock everything else. And then you have this little ramp here that folds down here. Now, so you got this thing, and ideally you're going to want to flip this over, and then you've got, whoops, and then that just can come right off, which is not a big deal. It's just a snap together ball joint. So we can do that, and we can do that, and then this folds down here, and that gives you this this little turret gun here, which can rotate around to go pew, 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 pew. And this thing can be like zzz, and it can do repairs and stuff like that. And I have to say that this is actually pretty cool. I like it. There's a lot of points of articulation to do cool things with, but you can also kind of have fun with it. You know, you can just put this like that, and then, you know, now it looks like more, it kind of gives it a larger look. You know, it's taller. It just makes it more look like an industrial crane type thing, and that's cool. Also, of course, they've just made this with a lot of 5mm pegs. So you can peg this in here. You can, you know, there's all sorts of 5mm compatible ports where you can add weaponizer pieces. You can move these pieces around. They did the same thing with this here, so that can move, and you know, it can go down there, or it could even go up here. Now there's a lot of playable things that you can do with this trailer, this base mode, that makes it interesting. And sure, there's not a lot of accessories added. There's no shooting weapons. We don't get shooting weapons these days. It seems like, you know, every 10 years or so, the whole shooting weapons thing either comes in or goes out. When I was growing up, you didn't have shooting weapons. That was a no-no. And then sometime around Armada, you started having lots of shooting weapons, and then shooting weapons a no-no again, and now we're in a no-no. It'll come back. I guarantee it'll come back. It always does. So whereas the Earthrise trailer, even though it was very Gen 1-tastic, didn't even have a roller. They didn't even produce a roller as a Scout class figure that maybe transformed into a robot that you could add to it. No, there's just nothing. And so, yeah, very limited play value with this one. This one, not so much. It's actually a lot of fun. Now, moving to the figure itself, let's just take a look here because, I mean, this is the meat and potatoes of the set. It is Optimus Prime. This is really what's going to make or break this toy for most people. So you have this, amazingly enough, as different as this is from its Earthrise counterpart, and I'm just going to roll him into frame momentarily. These toys this is a retool of this one, which in itself is a retool of Siege Prime. So they've been reusing this geometry over and over again and somehow making it work. It almost seems like it would have been easier to just design this guy from scratch, but they didn't. They reused a lot of that same geometry. So let's go ahead and let's turn this guy into a robot. So I'm going to bring him over here. It is a nice truck mode that you can see here. I love the dynamics of it. It's got good proportions. It looks good from most of the angles. There's hollowness here that wasn't in the previous Prime toys. So they've cut a little bit of cost there. It's nothing that's super noticeable. But you can see that it does hold its sword. There is one other thing that I should mention before I go too far. We also have this Energon weapon. And this Energon weapon plugs right in here. So it stores right there, and let's go ahead and put this back on the other camera because I want you to be able to see this in all its glory. So you have the Energon weapon, which becomes a battle axe. You have the sword on the underside, but and I'm just going to use the Earthrise trailer to drive this point home because they're both compatible. With this in place, the trailer don't fit. You can have weapon storage or you can have trailer, but you can't have both. And so that's a little bit of a problem. Now here's the easy solution to that problem. I know I said I was going to transform it and then I didn't. I'm a big fat liar. I'm sorry. So what we can do is you can take the weapons off of here, and let's just go ahead and put Mr. Base Mode back together and start putting things back the way that they're supposed to go. We'll go like that, and then we'll take this and put it back over here, and then we'll fold up the ramp, fold this up, and notice that you have a tremendous hollow cavity here. Now, unfortunately, that hollow cavity is not accessible when it is fully transformed. You could open this up and kind of go in from the front here, but notice that because of this hinge right here, there's a very narrow opening to get to the rest of the toy. So what I do is I just store that and the sword inside there, close it up, and you see you still have a lot of space, but they're neatly kept inside there. And then we can just close this, and now we have weapons storage. I mean, Heck, we have enough storage inside there to store his weapons, other Autobot weapons, blast effect parts, maybe a sandwich for later. I mean, yeah, you could put Cheetos in there. You could get a lot of Cheetos in there. I don't actually recommend storing Cheetos in your Optimus Prime. You know, the cheese dust just get everywhere. Lots of nooks and crannies that you'd have to clean out later. Unless you want it to have a bit of kind of a powdery cheese hue. So yeah, the weapons storage, it's there, but that Energon axe is a little bit of an issue. So now we'll set that aside, and now let's go ahead and turn Optimus Prime into his robot mode. So to start out, we can flip out the feet. And the legs are, I mean, there's some different mold detail on here than the other Optimus Primes, which you can see, you know, he's got the little vent things molded in. He's got other things molded in. They're these. I don't even know what to call them. They're just sort of, I don't know, mechanical looking things. They're electrical boxes. I don't know what they are, but they're these. And then we've got the opening of the cab. It's on a hinge here that you can open like that. You can straighten out the arms, which are here, and then we can open up these panels on the sides. So we just open those like that. As soon as you pick them up, so this is something that carries over from the Earthrise design. He's got these fuel tanks on the sides of the legs, and every time I pick up this toy, I inadvertently fold in the fuel tanks. They're always folded in on mine, because as soon as I touch him, boom, they're folded in. So you probably won't even have to fold them in, because chances are once you pick them up, they folded in already. It's a feature, not a flaw. Sure. So we've got the arms extended. We've got shoulders here, which we can loosen, and they just split at the hood, very much like the original Laser Optimus Prime. We can pull the shoulders out. Whoa! Not the not the whole arm. So here, wait. Oh, you know what? I made a mistake. Before you try to pull those shoulders out, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to bring the legs down. So bend them down here, right at this joint like there. And then you fold it out like that. That creates a big gap right there. And then you've got the chest and the whole chest assembly. And this is something that you've probably noticed a lot with Siege Optimus Prime, Earthrise Optimus Prime. They're all doing stuff like this, where they have a lot of these panels very, very meticulously folded up and origami style mashed into different places. So hopefully you like that, because they continue with this. You can also flip out these little shoulder pads just to give yourself some more clearance. But this is going to fold out like this. And then you can fold out this little panel. These are his abs. So the classic Optimus Prime. Oh! And see, the hinge does separate very easily. So it just snaps right back in. But yeah, those classic Optimus Prime grill for abs thing, that's what's right here. And that's going to fold out like that. And you're going to fold that out, get that out of the way. And now with this out of the way, now you see how these shoulders have this little tab here. With that in the way, it keeps these from being able to fold out. So now we can take this, and you see how that shoulder joint just pretty easily slips around and fits through that gap. Let's go ahead and show that again. So I'm just going to push out that shoulder joint, and you see how the whole arm is now able to clear the smokestacks. So we've got the arms. We're just going to pull them out by the sides, get them out of the way. We can now take these side panels right here, and we can fold them up into the body. And now there are some tabs inside there that everything can lock against. And it's really hard to do without looking at it, but I think I got it. So you got a little space in there, which I'm not sure if I could fit any Cheetos in there, but probably a couple marshmallows in case I'm hungry later. I don't know. But now I can take this whole front chest panel and close it up, and it really makes a nice solid seeming body. Even though the inside is completely hollow, everything, there's no visible gaps where I can look through and see to the other side, which is nice. So we're going to take these shoulder panels, move them out of the way. The head is on this hinged panel right here, so we're going to snap that over there. And now we can move the shoulders. They are on this double jointed linkage here, which allows you to maneuver it into this position. You're going to make sure that the shoulders on the arms are forward and snapped against the side of the body so that you can clear everything. You can rotate the arms around so that he has an elbow there. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And then we're going to open up the arms. And you find the fists inside. If you can grab them. If you can grab them. This is where I wish I had my spudger. There you go. So you pull out the fist. Notice that this time we don't have opening and closing fists. They have just made it a regular fist with kind of a kung fu grip thing. So, another little thing that they've done to save a little bit of money. It's a tiny thing. I like having opening and closing hands. It's just something that to me makes the figure a little bit more expressive. You don't have to have him always ready to punch or ready to hold a gun. You can have him in a more relaxed position. Can't do that with this one. I'll just have to get past it. You take the door here, or the cab, you just close it against the back, you separate the legs, and now at this point, you're pretty close. Rotate at the waist, and now you have Optimus Prime in his robotiness, gloriness. And, let's put these shoulder panels down. So there he is. You've got head articulation. It goes back and forth. There really isn't an up and down. You can't look up and down. And because of these shoulder things, he's not getting a whole lot of right and left. It's like he's going to have to, I don't know, maybe if he looks up, maybe opens his cab and tilts his head back, now he can see to the left or to the right of him. Oh no, his head popped off. It's on a ball joint, even though, like I said, you don't really get any up and down moment or motion on that. But still, he can look left and right. The huge shoulders do not move with the shoulder joint, okay? They stay in one place. That is something that I wish they did. I wish they did. The original Laser Optimus Prime, of course, these shoulders were part of the arm. So when you moved them around, these things moved forward. I felt like it was a little bit more dynamic. It made the upper torso a little bit more playable. Now, he's still got very good arm movement, especially since they've got these panels here on a hinge that keep the toy from really inhibiting the arm movement. He can still raise his arm forward, but he can't reach up. He's not going to be able to reach up. He can't quite do a jumping jack. I guess maybe if you did something like this, now Well, no, he still can't do a jumping jack because this joint only goes that high. It's I very rarely need my Optimus Prime figure to be able to do a jumping jack. But we do have waist rotation. We have, of course, every Optimus Prime for the last 3 years has had pretty much this same waist assembly and thigh assembly and knee joints and the same feet. So, and we've got that ankle tilt, which is really nice to be able to get him into dynamic poses where he can be like splayed out. It's like, you know, I'm ready to take on some Decepticons and do that whole thing. Of course, we want him to have weapons, so we've got the weapons in here, and we can get the sword out that way. The sword will come out that way, as I mentioned before. Because of that hinge, you really kind of have to open up the whole thing to be able to get everything out. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. We still have this, which oh wait, here I can do that. Now it stands up. So we'll give him his sword. There we go. Nice translucent Energon sword, maybe, whatever it is. And then we have this thing which folds out, and now it's a battle axe of some sort because Prime needs a battle axe. He was fighting Megatron in the original pilot miniseries on the top of the dam with a battle axe, and the battle axe has become sort of a part of his identity now. Every new Prime toy, they want to give him some kind of a battle axe, and I'm not against that. Battle axes are cool. So you see, he's got his battle axe, and he's got his sword, and he's got his big shoulders. Let's go ahead and put him on the other camera so that you can see him in all of his glory. We'll just set that over there and move the camera up like that, and maybe adjust the tilt of the camera because it really wants to be tilted the wrong way. So there we go. There. And press the button. There's the button. There he is, and look at that. He's looking cool. We can see him from all sides. This is a good-looking figure, and he's got really nice proportions, as have all of the Optimus Primes that are based off of this mold. He's very posable, very playable, and this is a nice variation from the classic blue-red that we're so used to. It's kind of refreshing. He looks good. He has some features here. Yeah, he's got these little panels here that open up to reveal some what would maybe be like little missile things that can shoot out. So that's pretty cool. And let's go ahead and just adjust here and maybe zoom in a little bit so that you can see the detail. Because it is a really nicely molded toy. It's got a lot of molded in detail. Even though there's not a whole lot of paint application, there's enough, like on these panels here, on the grill of the truck. You can see some yellow pops there. You know, these things, they make a difference, and they just raise the overall appearance of the toy to a level that's pretty nice. Of course, it wouldn't be Optimus Prime without the matrix of leadership, which, you know, like when I was a kid, we wanted a matrix so bad, and we never got one until Masterpiece. So this is really nice. So you have a matrix in there. It does come out. It's the same matrix that we've seen in pretty much every Prime toy that has come out with the last several years. They've been also reusing that mold or retooling that mold. So that's pretty cool. The other thing that we can do, getting to the trailer, so we can take a look at this and open up the trailer again. So, you know, we've got this thing, and we've got Well, we used to have that. All right, we've got this back. So we've got this thing. He's got 5mm compatible ports all over him. So you can add weaponizers. You can add extra stuff like this. You know, you can put that on him. Let's get that in focus. Come on, camera, work with me. There we go. So we want to have that in focus. There we go. So you can do that. You can take this thing and maybe do something like this. So he could have a big robotic arm on his back. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Do what you want. Figure out any combination of neat things that you can do, because they've given you enough versatility to be able to do a lot of neat and unusual things. And that's what I like about this toy. They did things that are cool. And yes, admittedly, with the Earthrise, you can take that little thing that's just kind of bland gray and you can put it on Prime's back. I realize that you can do that. And I like that. I just wish that it weren't so bland looking. So just gray with gray and gray, no paint detail, nothing. So I also kind of wish that those little mechanical arms were on ball or were maybe made with 5mm posts. You know, like maybe the ball joint itself came out and you could put it on something else. I don't know. I just think, you know, that would be nice, because then you could take them off and put them on weaponizer guys, or you could take weaponizer guys' arms and put them on that thing. I mean, just throwing out ideas, Hasbro. Come on, you know. But this is cool. This is very cool. So overall, I really like this toy. It is a leader class toy, which comes with, right now, it's like roughly a $54 price point, $55 price point, somewhere in there, which is you know, that's a bit. That is a chunk. That's what we're looking at right now, and those prices are not likely to come down ever. That's just the way that's the world that we're living in now. But so as long as you can accept that now the price for a leader class toy is over $50, then if you're okay with that, then let me say that as leader class toys go, this is a very good one. It's a really good one. Lots of fun to be had with this figure. It's nostalgic, but it's also modern. It is a worthy successor to the original. Yeah, that original, I mean, it has posability, it has firing weapons, it has lights. It is an amazing toy. We're not going to get that. I mean, you know, that's also the world that we're living in. We are not going to get anything like that anytime soon, just because of the way that the economics are. So we can let it go and recognize that if you missed out on that toy, or maybe you have it, but you don't want to risk pulling it out and breaking it, this is modern plastic. You've seen that the joints are made in such a way that with a little bit of undue force, they just pop apart and you snap them right back in, no damage to the toy. So yeah, I really like it. I absolutely recommend it. I think it's a great Optimus Prime, and it's a refreshing deviation from the last several years, where the Primes have been very, very similar. Very similar. And you know, I mean, it's good. to do stuff like that for a while, but now I'm ready for a change. They've delivered a change. It's nice. It's very nice. So, good job, Hasbro. I like it, and that's my recommendation. And so I hope that you enjoyed this review of Transformers Legacy Optimus Prime, which is, of course, an homage to Laser Optimus Prime from Transformers Generation 2. Great toy. So, yeah, I guess that's it. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Click the notification bell so that you know when we're doing other Short Circuits videos like these, which, when we've got them, we try to release them periodically throughout the week. Also, on Friday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern United States time, we usually do a live stream. Not necessarily every week, but most weeks. Most weeks. So, be on the lookout for those. This is Clay Carlino telling you, yes you, to keep it Retrobot! Yeah, so... Tanker Truck Optimus Prime. Tanker trucks are cool. You know, like that was always a good choice for a mode, and something that that they really haven't visited over the last, well, really ever. I mean, you got this one, and you got that little one that was also part of Generation 2. Then they just kind of said no more tanker trucks. Nope. He can be a fire engine. And he can be a tractor trailer. No tanker trucks. Kind of sad when you think about it. Just kind of sad.